best route.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are just going to wait a few more minutes to make sure that we get as many people on as possible before we start. So if you could just sit tight for a few seconds, we'll be back and we'll get started. Okay, I think we're going to get started. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're very excited. This is sort of the unofficial start to the show, I think, as we prepare for the show and get everybody organized. We're excited to have you today because it means that you're preparing for the show, and the more preparation I think you all have, the better everyone will be at the show. By now, you all should have received at least one artist newsletter, which basically has everything you need for show prep. It has everything we're going to be discussing today. We kind of pick things out each month that we think are most important, but that's just a quick little snapshot of what we host on our Exhibitor Central, which is your manual to show prep, which we'll talk about later. You'll hear us refer to the Exhibitor Central throughout the show or throughout this webinar. And then I want to just do a little housekeeping. This is being recorded and we will post this on the website in case you've missed it or someone couldn't come. We've asked that your cameras and mics are off so we can keep going, and we will have plenty of time for questions at the end that you can type in your Q&A or your chat. So I think we'll get started. Okay. I'm just gonna introduce us. Our team is here today. We've got a few that are here and a few that aren't. I'm Kathleen Hogan. I'm the show director. I've been with the show for about 20 years. So I have a lot of history, but I absolutely love doing it, and I'm accessible for any questions at any time. But I'd like the rest of the team to introduce themselves as well. Marie?
Hi, everybody. I'm Marie. I'm the Artist Relations Coordinator. So day to day, I'm talking with the artists and getting everyone on board. So you probably have all talked to me and seen me before, but I'm really excited.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan, and I am the marketing manager. So I am doing all of the marketing and promotion for the show, but I am also accessible and here to help you promote yourselves and your attendance at the show. So you may have gotten a couple of emails from me, but if you guys, need help with anything, marketing, social media, feel free to reach out to me. I am accessible as well and excited.
Hi, I'm Debbie Rosenfeld, Client Solutions Manager. I'm here to help you with anything operations-wise for the show, move in, move out questions, any equipment that you're going to need for your booth, etc. So I'm here to help.
Okay, thank you guys. We also have Lisa Simonian, who is our, get rid of this, who is our Vice President of Marketing. She's not here today, but you'll see her on site. And then Camille Navarro handles payments and anything financial related to the show. Again, everyone's accessible. We wanted to make sure to include all of our contact info so you have it. We are all here to help you prepare. Okay. So just to take you through the agenda for the day, we'd like to keep it within an hour. We're going to discuss registration and artist profile. Exhibitor Central, we'll take you through that a little bit as well. We'll dive into move-in and the details with that. Setup and teardown, which is always want to know the details of that. Some tips about booth design. And then again, we'll leave room for questions at the end. Okay, first we wanted to show you a little bit of a artist insight into the show. You're going to see 3 of our artists, all at different times in their career with us. We've got one artist that's been with us probably for over 20 years, one artist that's been with us for maybe 10, and then one artist that's been with us for less than 5. So I think that you'll get a great perspective. Here we go.
The holiday show is typically the best show of the year for me in sales. So that's very good. The other thing is the exposure. It's so well attended, and there's a lot to see.
And there's just so much incredible art, incredible artists of all types. And that's what I love about it. I love that you can walk literally in 10 feet. You can see amazing sculptures and crafts, amazing, hopefully, photography.
I think it's definitely a show where now people are going and they buy all of their Christmas gifts. I mean, it is like, for sure, because there's so much available now. I mean, you can buy everything from baby gifts and toddler gifts up to, really nice expensive jewelry pieces for your wife or your mother or whatever. Like, so it's just, the gamut is there. So, and I think it's great. I think it's wonderful when people buy handmade for gifts.
They started doing the art gallery several years ago, and I've sold a couple of pieces out of that, which is really, really nice. It's a good showcase, and it really it's a good sampling of all the fine artists that are in the show. And over the years, a lot of those folks are my friends. We've been doing that show and other shows. We bump into each other, and I really appreciate the quality of the artists that are in the show. And it kind of it raises all in the public's eye to be associated with the show and be seen together.
And that's what's neat about One of a Kind is you bring together 500 artists, I think it is, from all over the world who display their work. And so it's been an honor to be a part of it.
Really think about how they can merchandise those pieces that would be easy and make great gifts and still really represent their line.
People come looking for stocking stuffers, smaller things, but also very large pieces as well. So I like to have something impressive.
And read every email. That is a huge, plus, like read every email and follow the timelines. And if you don't understand something, for sure reach
And
out.
what's amazing about One of a Kind is the number of people y'all bring through the door is incredible. The thousands of people who come into the door. And what's even better is the people who come in the door are looking for art. They're art lovers. They're looking to buy art. They're looking to enjoy art. So it's a really unique opportunity within a short amount of time to reach thousands of people that you can't reach otherwise.
Great. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I think, again, I love to get perspectives from the other artists. We have a lot to share here, but hearing from other artists, I think, is so important. So let's. Okay, so the first thing I want to reiterate is if you haven't had a chance to go to Exhibitor Central, you access that portal or that section of our site straight from the One of a Kind Show Chicago website. I'm going to take you there now and just briefly show you what it looks like. But this is what you should be looking at and working with and going to when you have any questions about what you need, what's coming up, how to set up, all that. So again, this is right on our website. It's under Exhibit, and you go down to Exhibitor Central, and it's going to be there chock full of this information. So a couple of the things I want to highlight. This is where you'll register. So you'll register yourself and your any of your staff right from this registration link and using the password that's already on the website. It includes booth details. It talks about all the details that you can add to your booth, what's accepted, what's not, what to expect. You'll even have a chance to see some of the images of booths, of actual booths on the show floor. So in this one, you can see the gray flooring, the white columns, and the lighting, which I think is helpful for your setup. It talks about signage, and Marie is going to go into more detail about those items. Setup and dismantle, all the hours and procedures are listed here, shipping addresses, guidelines, tax forms, all here on Exhibitor Central. Our ordering portal, we'll talk a little bit about later. That is where you'll order extra tables, extra lighting, any specific details that you need to add to your booth. And that will be, more information will be sent to you on Friday about that. Any seminars or programming is listed. All of the marketing opportunities, including your online profile, which Marie will talk about later, and Jordan will dive into the marketing opportunities as well. And then if you've missed any of our newsletters, we always host them here, August through our most current, which was sent out yesterday. And then while we update the floor plan throughout, the most updated will always be on our website listed here. Hotels, directions, parking, all listed here. Go ahead and get your hotels now if you haven't. You can click into any one of these and they'll take you all to all the different hotels and the negotiated rates that we have with those. Okay, let's get back to our... Great. Okay, so we talked a little bit about registration. What you'll register yourself and your staff all on the link that we provided that's on Exhibitor Central. Once you get to the show, what happens is if you pre-register, it makes that registration and that move-in process a lot smoother. So bring your ID with you, and you always want to wear that badge on the show floor, the badge that you'll pick up at the registration desk in the lobby. Wear that badge everywhere because we do have a secure floor and the guards will ask you for that badge throughout. I'm going to hand it over to Marie, who's going to talk about artist profile, which is such an important feature. Go ahead, Marie.
Yeah, great. So everybody, great, yeah, so everybody has an artist profile. It's already set up for you. Here we go. So it allows customers to find you before and after the show, which is super helpful. And everyone should have this all set up because it's ready now, and then it'll be up during the show. And we have a shopping feature that customers who can't make it to the show can easily shop online using your artist profile. You can filter it by category, and then we have new categories as well, like LGBTQ, BIPOC, women-owned, wholesale. So it's super easy for everyone to find you before, during, and after the show. And this is used for our printed directory as well. You know, it's easy for us to organize it and everything like that. And it's on our website. You can customize it the way you want to. And everyone should definitely fill this out if you haven't already. And please let me know if you have any questions or need any help signing in or personalizing your artist profile. But we love this feature and it's great for marketing. And Jordan is going to get more into that marketing in the next slide.
Hi, everyone. So we have various marketing opportunities for you leading up to and during the show. One really important one that I like to highlight is our artist web banners and shareable graphics that you can host on your social media, your personal social media channels. They are branded, OOAK branded, so everyone, you know, can easily identify that those are associated with the show, and you can host them as your cover photos or as banners on your website, as well as share them again on your personal social media. So you can find those on our website in Exhibitor Central under the marketing tab. We also have various PR opportunities that our agency, Heron, will be reaching out about. That includes giveaways on our social media channels, media interviews during the show or prior to the show, and as well as cross-promotional opportunities to post on our social media to be shared to all of our followers. We also have a social media strategist, Teddy and Mary, so they may be reaching out to you as well, again, in regards to those couple of things that I mentioned and more. We have complimentary tickets that you can get. We have digital and print tickets. Again, if you want access to those print tickets, you do need to request those, which you can also do online, either in our newsletter or in Exhibitor Central. And then digital tickets will be sent out. Your code will be sent out on October 17th. A couple other additional promotional opportunities are going to be the Fine Art Gallery, which was mentioned in that video you watched earlier. That is still open for anyone who is interested in applying to have one piece featured in the Fine Art Gallery. It is a really beautifully and professionally curated space, gallery-like setting for people to walk through and, you know, purchase things that are hanging up. If something is sold, you are welcome to replace it during that time to continuously have a piece showcased there. We also have our ambassador program. You can find all of the information about that in Exhibitor Central as well. That is another unique opportunity for veteran artists to connect with new artists and share insight and, you know, learn more about the process in the show. We have our Patrons Choice Award. So attendees can vote for their favorite booths throughout the show. And the top 3 Patrons Choice winners get a couple of great prizes, and you can learn more about that in Exhibitor Central as well. And last but not least, we have our artist interview form that can be found throughout the website in our newsletter. And I also sent out an email with a link to this interview form. I highly, highly suggest filling this out. I use a lot of the content from there for blogs, Maker Mondays, the studio visits, things like that. So please feel free to fill it out. That is going to be open and accepting submissions until October 23rd. And the more information that you provide, the better. And I'm going to hand it off to Marie now.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the on-site procedures, which is move-in, very exciting. So now we're finally getting into the nitty-gritty of it all. Okay, so setup hours and dock access. So these dates are the 2 days before the show starts. So it's the Tuesday and Wednesday are setup hours. Tuesday, December 5th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then Wednesday, December 6th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So please note that the dock access closes at 3 p.m. each day. So if you're going to utilize the dock, which you definitely should, it closes at 3 o'clock. And we have on the next slide here, it's kind of the loading dock details. Here's a great image that we like to use. So this line up top is the artist. So they're gonna drive to the loading dock. And then from there, our team will be down there to help you unload your car and get items from your booth, and then put it on the freight elevator and then bring it up to your booth for you. So then you can leave straight from the loading dock, go and park your car, and then you walk inside the building, and then you will go to the registration desk to get your badge. And then you just go up the elevators into your booth, and then your product will be in your booth. It's very easy, very fabulous. Everybody loves this. So it's not, you don't have to lug all your stuff up and down, the elevators and everything like that. It's super easy. So now these are some loading dock reminders as well. So drayage, you're going to hear that term a lot, is the materials handling, which is included in your booth fee. And then make sure you label all your packages with your name and booth number. So our, union workers know where to bring your booth to. And it's super easy for them, so we can make the process easy and quick, so we can get everyone in, in these 2 days. Make sure you package all your work well. Packaging is not provided. So note that obviously our guys are very, safe when carrying up your stuff. They've been doing it for years, but make sure it's all well put together so there's no issues, and consolidate all your belongings. So make sure all of that. And then any additional fees, any one package over 2,000 pounds will have an overage fee added on. Not sure if that applies to a lot of you, but just so you guys know. So move in for parking. We recommend Spot Hero. We partner for them during the show to find you discounted parking around the building, so it can be easy to get back and forth. That information is on Exhibitor Central as well. If you're gonna ship your items, they will be in your booth, but make sure that you ship them, and they should arrive either Tuesday or Wednesday, those same days as move-in. And again, make sure you label all your ship packages with your booth number 7-, which is the floor that we're going to be on of the Merchandise Mart. And then your booth number with your full name, so they know where to put your products if you are going to be shipping them. If it happens to get here a couple days before, we will keep them, but make sure that you try and get them on Tuesday and Wednesday, or there could be a fee. So that's shipping. Personally transporting work. All items must be hand carried through the freight elevators. So you can't bring them up yourselves through the passenger elevators. Dollies are not allowed when hand transporting your work. So that's why we really encourage using the dock, because they use the freight elevators. And if you guys can go with them if you want to make sure that all your product gets there safely. But please note that dollies are not allowed, and our union workers will have big dollies, but those are just for them to use, and they're not for artists. But it's super easy if you want to hand carry or anything through the freight elevators, or if you forgot something, you can hand carry instead of using dollies. So then Kathleen is now going to talk about registration.
Great, thank you. Okay, so so after you've parked, Marie gave a great, description or diagram of how that process goes. After you park, head to the registration desk in the main lobby. You can't miss it. There'll be plenty of signs to get you there. We have a welcome packet full of information that will be helpful on site. And then you'll get your exhibitor badge all there in the lobby of the Mart. showtimes, and artist amenities during the show. So we have a pre-show happy hour event. We host that right at the end, at the tail end of our setup. It's a great opportunity to kind of spend a little time with your fellow artists. We have a raffle. We make it a really fun experience and a great kickoff to the show. We also have an artist lounge on the show floor that has coffee and water, and it's a great place to escape for a little bit during the show, just to have some alone time. We have an artist food ordering app, which has been very popular. It allows you to pre-order lunch or meals throughout the day and have it waiting for you in the Center Cafe through our caterer. So that's something you'll get more information about, but it's really a nice amenity, specifically if you're coming alone and it's hard for you to get away from your space. We have an artist-only coat check in the artist lounge. We have change available for you if you need big bills broken down into smaller ones. That's in the sales office. We also have booth sitters and sales staff for both setting up your booth and helping with sales that can be available, that are available for hire. Okay, the show floor. You can access, like I said, the current show floor plan on Exhibitor Central, which I'll show you in the next slide. But a couple of things to note: there's cafes located throughout the show, as well as bars and beverages with snacks. All of our artists receive 20% off from our caterer, which is Foodstuffs, just by showing your badge. And then you'll note a lot of people ask, where does the main entry for the show? And it's in the center, actually, of the show, on the 6,000 and 7,000 aisles. And let me show you now the floor plan that is on Exhibitor Central. So this floor plan you've all seen. You received it with, you received a link when you received your booth placement, booth assignment. A couple things I do want you to pay specific attention to, if you haven't, is the columns, where the columns of the building are placed. Almost every booth, unless you're on a perimeter, has a column within their space, either in the front or the back corner. So just make sure that when you're planning your layout, you pay attention to that and you note it. You can, depending on where it is within your space, you can attach things to it and use it as additional display. Okay, so the details of your booth. Your booth is vacuumed. We do vacuum the booth the night before the show opens. Drayage, which is the process of moving your product to and from your vehicle to the booth, that is included in your booth fee. Equipment, your booth comes with a chair and wastebasket, but they must be registered or requested pre-show, because we want to make sure that we have enough of them ready to go. The flooring we discussed, and you can see it in this photo behind, is a light gray. It's throughout the whole show floor. There are people that choose to do a flooring above that, but it's not necessarily necessary. And then your signage. So the booth comes with a standard blade sign that is essentially for wayfinding. You can also add your own signage, and we encourage it throughout the space. And then each 10 by 10 booth comes with 4 floodlights, which again, you can see in that image behind, and typically 2 fluorescent lighting strips. Here's another great shot. This is a 5 by 20, actually might be a 5 by 30 double booth. But you can see how she utilized the columns. You can see how the blade sign sits on the header above the space. You can clearly see the lighting. And she really did a nice job with that space. Here's another image. This is a corner booth. So you can see, again, using every inch of that space. She uses the column on the right side. She's hung pegboards in the back to give her kind of easy access to showing pieces on and off that wall, because you can nail into the wall as long as you remove those nails when you leave. And then the booth walls, it's one of the unique pieces of our space is that every booth comes with walls. They're painted white. The paper coverings are available that ends up looking like painted walls, and that's a great option. Those you'll find on the ordering portal, which again will go out tomorrow. I mentioned you can nail and screw into the walls just to be sure that you remove them at the end. There's no need to patch small holes. Power tools are not permitted. So if you did need something put into the wall using a power tool, you'd want to hire one of our carpenters to help you out with that. The walls are 1-inch solid wood, and each nail holds approximately 30 pounds. We'll make sure Deb confirms that if there's a question. A standard booth has 3 walls, and a corner booth has 2 walls. So you'll take a look at the booth assignment that was sent to you and just note that that was mentioned on the letter. And there are multiple booth configurations as seen in these images. So this is another corner booth. He's kind of used a side wall panel uniquely, and he's got his kind of his checkout podium on the outer corner. Okay, and here are the details of the lighting and electric. There's 4 lights. We talked about the lighting included. There's also outside lights. Any outside lights you might have, we can have them reviewed by our operations team to see if they'd be approved. But lamps and other non-track items are permitted. Every booth comes with a 150-watt electrical outlet in your space. If you need something beyond that, it can be added on, but there would be a charge for that. Floodlights that are included with your booth are not part of that 150 watts. If you have any lighting needs on site, you can go to the exhibitor services desk. We do allow for a lighting adjustment by our electrician. Each booth comes with 15 minutes of free lighting adjustment, and that would be adjusting the direction of the floodlights that you've seen in some of these pictures. So those can highlight your work in the right way. Okay, and this is another example. You can see the lighting that they must have had approved, that they've hung in their space, highlighting their wall displays, and then you can see our floodlights and our fluorescent lights above. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Marie to talk about emerging.
Okay, so we're going to talk about emerging. So these are for the new artists, which is 3 years of experience or less. Probably a handful of you guys are on this call. We have about 45 emerging artists, so it's a big group this year, and we're really excited about it. So the booths are roughly 5 by 10. So they're 5 feet deep and 10 feet wide. This area is set up market style, so there's no side walls. There's only one back wall, and I have a couple pictures to show you guys as well. But just to make it more market style and easier to walk through, because again, they're smaller booths and there's a lot of them. So we want to make sure that it's easy for people to walk through and look at all the product easily. So here's a couple pictures from past years, kind of how people would set up if they bring a table. Again, like what Kathleen said, if you want a chair or a wastebasket, make sure you request that pre-show. You'll get there's like a little pink sign back there that you can see on the left, that you'll get a sign to hang up, and it's got, stickers on the back, and you can hang it on the back wall or hang it on a table. There's a couple other pictures. The next picture, again, you can have, little baskets. You can, again, hang on this wall. You could show the next picture. Perfect. She put like a little decal up there too. So it's easy for people to walk by, see who it is, and go through and using everything. Use as much space as you can. I know it's a kind of a tiny space, but using it to your ability to make sure that it's easily accessible for everyone when they're walking past. Okay, so I'm next going to talk about storage. So there's two different types of storage that we provide. We have accessible storage and inaccessible storage. So I'm going to get into detail of both of them, but accessible storage is inventory for replenishment. So this is available on the show floor, but you must reserve it before you arrive on site. We do have a form on Exhibitor Central, and it is on the newsletters as well. It's $150 for a 5x5 space. A lot of people like to use this for their backstock and replenishment, so they don't have it in their booth. If you do need help with moving your items to the storage space on the show floor, you can put in an order at the service desk with no charge, and they can come over and help you. But again, we have a limited amount of space available, so make sure if you are interested in this, then you fill out the form, and then we'll update your account and everything, and then you will be on our list, and you will get a 5x5 space during the show. So, and then inaccessible storage are all for your empties, like empty boxes that you want to use when the show is over. So we do have empty stickers that you can get at Exhibitor Services desk. They're neon pink stickers, and they say empty on them. So during moving in and everything, if you want to put stuff in inaccessible storage, you get that sticker, put it on a box or two, and then we'll come around at the end of the show and bring it to the inaccessible storage area, and then it'll be provided to you after the show is over. And then make sure you label your empties, and then everything is available at the service desk.
All right, guys. So this is Jordan, and I am going to go over a couple of move-in setup tips for you, just so everyone is prepared. The first thing that I would say is, it's been mentioned a couple of times, but to make sure that you are ordering everything that you need ahead of time through the ordering portal. And again, you will get that link tomorrow. So through this is where you would order display cases, tables, chairs, your waste baskets, etc. And you want to do this so that you have everything that you need. So we have the inventory that we know that we need, and so that you are prepared and saving time during the show, so you don't have to, go and get these things. You can just focus on setting up your booth and preparing to exhibit. Another thing is, if you have booth customization that you want to make in terms of your walls or anything like that, you do need to submit a form for that as well. And that will be due by November 8th. Show hours and access. So the show is Thursday, December 7th through Sunday, December 10th, and artists will have access to the show floor on those days starting at 8 a.m. every day. So you guys can get there at 8 a.m. and make any changes to your booth, or make sure that everything is good to go before the attendees arrive at 10. Some additional information: we do have wireless internet, that is provided. So every artist can have access to this Wi-Fi if you guys need to use that for any reason. We also have a central cashier that will be available for any Canadian exhibitors that may need this service to process any sales or payments. You do need to sign up for this, and you can find all of that information again on Exhibitor Central. If you need to ship anything to a customer, there is a FedEx available on the second floor of the Mart, and we have an on-site shipper for artists to ship to customers in the show office as well. The artist code check is on the show floor, and additionally, any large sold items that need to be, removed, our dock workers can do that as well. So a couple of things in terms of your booth design layout. This is, on-site marketing. You want to market yourself and market your product the best to your ability with the space that you're given. So you want to make sure that the customers have an easy way to enter your booth as well as exit, and make that clear for people so that there can be a steady flow of traffic. Remember to consider your checkout setup. Make it easy for people to check out while other people can continue to shop. So you don't want to block any of the entrances or the exits, and you just want to allow for a steady flow of people to come through your booth so you can have as many customers as possible. As far as the design, be sure, to make it very welcoming and exciting. Something that will grab the customer's attention, whether that be a decal or some signage. If you're going to have any samples for people to grab, make sure that those are easily accessible and easily viewed from the aisles when people are walking by, so they can stop by, grab samples, grab business cards, or anything else that you want them to remember you by. As you can see in these photographs here, Dosa over there in the top right corner has their samples out, nicely set up for people to see and smell. And additionally, on the photo on the left, you can see that they utilized that column there. They have their art on both sides, and you can also see that there is one easily identifiable entrance and exit for people to walk through the booth and see everything that they have displayed there. And now I will pass it on to Kathleen to talk about end of show details.
Great, thank you so much. So that takes us towards the end of the show. Obviously, there's a lot in between, but you should also know kind of the details of the end just to kind of have a full scope of what to expect. So teardown begins at 5 p.m. on Sunday. And it's really important to not tear down early. For your sake, for safety, there's always going to be customers on the show floor. So we really discourage tearing down, and we do so by charging a fee just to be make sure that everyone has a great experience. So you dismantle and load out hours are Sunday from 5 to approximately 11. It depends on how quickly things go. And then Monday also from 8 a.m. to noon. And we're going to send out a move out link to pick your slot for move out. The loading of POVs will begin upon completion of the return of our empty boxes. Okay. So then move out procedures. So a little more details about the move out procedures. Like I said, a pre-show email that's going to be sent in November, allowing you to sign up for a move out time and on both either Sunday or Monday. So we'll be sending a lot of reminders to make sure. I know everyone wants to, has a certain time that they prefer to get out. So there'll be a lot more information to come about that. After the show closes, all of your empties, so if you had boxes that you put in our empty or our inaccessible storage, they'll be brought back to you so you can begin packing. And also, if you haven't brought back things from your accessible storage space, if you have one, that too will be brought back to you so that everything is in your booth when we start to the move out process. At that point, union workers will then move your items when it's your turn from your booth to the dock, and they'll help load them into your car when it's your turn. A few more post-show details. Make sure that you follow up with the leads that you have. You've spent a lot of time, hopefully you're collecting leads, as many leads as you possibly can with either a email list sign up or something they can do quickly online to sign up so that you can follow up with them. Update your artist profile. I don't think we can say this enough. Make sure that you keep it fresh and updated, remove old photos, remove sold items. It really is something that people preview as well as come to after the show. So make sure that you have an updated artist profile with images. Your tax forms, we're going to be sending, those are on Exhibitor Central. We'll also have them in your welcome packet, and they can be emailed to you if you leave the building and forget it. So make sure that you take a look at those. We're going to ask that you fill out your artist survey. Once we'll send that to you after the show, but that's really important information about your experience here, what we can do better, what you've enjoyed, how we can help you in the future. And again, of course, reach out immediately. Oftentimes people might forget something in leaving in a hurry, and just the sooner you let us know, the easier it is to find those things. And then at the end of the show, you'll have that opportunity to re-sign for our holiday 2024 show. And if you do it before you leave the building, there's a discounted rate that you'll have access to or be privy to. You'll also receive the opportunity to keep your space or get priority placement for another space for the following year. Our contract will be digital. It'll be emailed to you during the show with all sorts of instructions. It must be, returned before the end of the show to get that rate. We'll also include a booth request form, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to talk about or request a new location or to keep your old one if that's what you choose. And then there's also the ambassador program sign up that we'll encourage you all to do once you've had, you've been seasoned into the show. And then your final checklist. Again, complete that artist profile, very important. Know your booth number. Again, if you haven't received a booth from us, the final grouping will go out tomorrow, Friday. But by Monday, if you have not received a booth number, please reach out and we'll make sure that we resend it to you. Complete the PR questionnaire that Jordan spoke about by October 23rd. Review your Exhibitor Central. Review your Exhibitor Central. We can't say it enough. Everything we've talked about today is on that page. Plan your booth layout. It really helps when you get here. If you've had some idea of what you're going to do, it makes for a much smoother setup. Order equipment and services by the pre-order date through our ordering portal that will go out to you tomorrow. Consider an accessible inventory storage space. Sometimes you get here and you think you have enough space and maybe you don't. So please consider signing up for an accessible storage space if you think that space might be an issue. Read our monthly newsletters. You should have received one yesterday. Our October newsletter went out yesterday. If not, you can access it through Exhibitor Central. And then join our artist-only Facebook group, which again, you can access through Exhibitor Central. And that brings us to the end where we can start answering questions that you might have via the Q&A. Oops. And I think the team's working on that right now. Anything you want to say, if you want to open it up to answering them unmuted, that might be helpful.
We had a question about, do we have to reserve parking? You can through Spot Hero. We partner with Spot Hero. And when that link is available, we'll send that and it'll be on Exhibitor Central. So you can reserve that through Spot Hero. I would recommend reserving parking because it's kind of hard to park in the city. So I would recommend doing that in advance to find a good parking spot near the Merchandise Mart.
Okay, our team is answering questions, but if you don't have any questions, feel free to leave the webinar. That's all we have for today. You can certainly reach out at any time to ask us questions, and this recording will be on Exhibitor Central, as well as all of the information that we have shared today. We are so excited, looking forward to seeing you guys. And we know there's a lot of prep that's going into the next few weeks. Again, reach out with any questions. We're happy to help. Looking forward to it.
Hi, this is Debbie. I just want to start answering some of the questions so everyone can hear. There was a question about painting the walls. If you need to paint, you would need to hire our labor, and you can request the color that you want and we'll do it for you, but you're not allowed to paint yourself. As far as hanging signage, you can hang your own signage as long as it's nailed in or drilled in and you remove it at the end. If you apply a decal and there's any residue left, just make sure that that's all removed before you leave. Otherwise, there may be charges for replenishing the walls. In regards to load-in, do our items have to be packaged a specific way, like palletized, or can it be how we usually do? They can be in bins, just as the union labor will unload your car and put onto a flatbed. So as long as it's something that can be taken out, put on a flatbed, and then transported that way, that's fine. It definitely does not need to be on a pallet. Actually, being on a pallet would make it a little bit more difficult as we don't have forklifts. Replenishments. If you are in the gourmet section, you may bring in replenishments and our labor will help you unload it. If you're not in the gourmet section and you want to hand carry in replenishments, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you do need any assistance coming through the dock any days once the show has begun, there will be a charge, and that charge is $59 per 100 pounds. So if it's something you can hand carry in you're more than welcome to do that yourself. But if you do need assistance, there is a charge. The accessible storage is on the same floor as your booth. Obviously, depending on where your booth is located, the proximity may, be different for different booths, but it is in the northeast corner of the floor. So if you look at the floor plan, you'll be able to see where that is in relation to your booth. And if you do need assistance transferring your replenishments to and from, we will have guys available to put that on carts and wheel it if it's a lot to carry. In regards to the booth sitters, it is hourly. There is a form where you can hire them. It may be possible to do less than an hour, but I would ask. Yeah, and that will be on the portal tomorrow. Can you supply mannequins? We don't rent them out, but we do have vendors that we can recommend that will rent those for you. So they'll be able to rent those. Is it possible for me to provide my own display table? You can bring in your own display table. The tables that are available for rent that we provide are 4 feet by 2 feet. So if you want your own display table, you can bring that in as part of your booth materials.
Regarding registration, are we able to change the registration names during the show? If you need more than 4 registration, you can just let me know and we can add another one for you. Or if you need to change a name, then we can add another badge. That's not a problem. We just have a limit for 4 just for everybody. But if you need a couple more, it's no problem. You can just reach out to me, Marie, and then I can add some for you. That's not a problem.
And I'm going to answer if you bring, you can bring your items in on Tuesday and set up on Wednesday. You can do that. You would just leave your items in your booth. We do have the floor is secured 24 hours a day throughout the show. So that's no problem. I'm going to keep going. So yes, we can send more photos of emerging artists. Just go ahead and reach out to Marie. As far as bringing your jewelry, you can bring your jewelry in and out. I'm looking to see a collapsible wagon, unless it's a suitcase on wheels, that would be allowed, but any sort of dolly style or wagon with 4 wheels would not be allowed.
Someone asked if they can bring in on Tuesday. I think I lost it, but oh, you just answered it. Okay, great. But yes, you can leave it overnight. We have overnight security. So if you want to, if you shipped your stuff on Tuesday and then you're going to set up on Wednesday, your stuff will be in your booth and it'll be, fine to sit there overnight. We have overnight security over the whole days of the show, including move-in. So you are all okay with that. Regarding corner booth measurements and photos, we have like a schematic form if you are interested in knowing the exact measurements of your booth. That's on Exhibitor Central as well. You can fill out the form and then we can email you the schematic of your exact booth. We don't have pictures of everyone's booth, of course, because layouts change over every year, but we do have schematics of the exact measurements of your booth that we can send you. That's not a problem.
And then I'm going to answer Grace Moore's. She asked just to confirm we are unable to paint walls, but are able to hang signage. That's true. You are able to hang your own signage. Painting can be ordered, but it's discouraged. But you would need a painter, one of our team painters, to paint the walls of your booth. And painting decals on your wall, we have had that in the past. but there would also be a fee to repaint, to restore that back to white. So you are able to paint on the white walls, but there would be a charge to restore it back, just as long as you know that. Okay, we had a question about sales tax from Jen Armstrong, and I just want to respond to it. You can apply for our special events sales tax form. So you would just need the let me see. This is on our website as well. If you look at Exhibitor Central, out-of-state exhibitors, if you participate in 3 or more shows, Illinois, then you must apply for an Illinois business tax number. If you don't, if you are doing less than 3 shows in a year, then you can just use the form that we include, which is the IDOR 6 form. So I hope that that's answered your question. And then, of course, fill out that form and submit it with your tax payment after the show. Okay, I think we've addressed almost all, I think. Yep, I'm looking around. I think we've addressed all the questions. And if we did miss it by chance, a lot we're shooting our way, please reach out to any one of us separately via email. And we're going to close the seminar for now. But again, reach out if you need anything. Thanks for being here and good luck in your prep.